we had an instant connection on the field, and you know, I played center and he played right, and he was constantly going forward, and it set up well for my left foot to play the diagonal ball to him, and we used that play all the time. So you know, we had a good connection early on.
One of the things that jumps out at me with Frankie was I had my first appearance at a middle school, and we were in a suburban school. Not really the kids and the faculty, they weren't really familiar with soccer, and the crew and Frankie just took over, and you know, he had these kids on their feet, he had teachers dancing. It's just every time the guy's around, he just, you know, makes you in a happier mood, and that's something that I've taken from Frankie. I think you should leave someone and making them feel better, and that's exactly what Frankie does.
My most fond memory of him is I was watching the 2008 final, and just seeing his passion when he scored that goal. Scolato chipped it over into him, and I mean, a great finish, but just how excited he was, not just for himself, but for all his teammates. And I think he embodied what a captain was. I mean, he was selfless, he was hardworking, he gave everything he had every time he was on the field. And that's what people in Columbus love to see. They love to see a guy who's just going to commit himself every time he's on the field. Funny story though, this isn't when he was at the crew, but we had a U18 national team camp out in Arizona, and this is when he was with LA. And Greg was on the team actually at the same time. And we were playing against him, and I got the ball in the midfield. It was kind of like a 50-50, and Frankie just jumps, 2-foots me right in the middle of the field. And I'm like this is like Frankie Hejduk, like I'm from Columbus, like kind of a hero, you know, like pretty cool. And he's like, get up, like yelling at me, and I'm like, what? Greg's in the back yelling at me too, you little, like whatever. So after the game, I'm like, dude, like I'm from Columbus, like. He's like, oh, that was you, man? Like, no way. Like, so like nice to me afterwards. But I mean, I think it just shows his passion on the field. I mean, he just, whether it be a reserve game or whatever, he just was full go all the time.
Was that the first time you had encountered him, or had you met him when you were a kid?
I think that was the first time I really met him. So it was kind of traumatizing.
Whenever you think of Frankie, you think, if you've ever played with him, you see him drink, you know, 3-5 hour energies, and then go out there and play, and you think, wow. I guess that's how he runs for 100 minutes in a 90-minute game. But I think one funny story is from this preseason. You know, myself and a few other guys new to the team were looking to eat someplace and asking Frankie for a suggestion, and he says to go check out a place called Saddlebacks downtown. They have really good fish tacos. So we're downtown, and we're right where he says it is, and I'm like, Frankie, I don't see it. I'm on the phone with him. I'm like, Frankie, I don't see Saddlebacks. It's not here. And he's like, yeah, it's right there. It's right there. It's called Saddlebacks. And then I hear his wife in the background saying something, and he's like, he gets back on the phone and said, oh man, it's not called Saddlebacks. I'm sorry. It's called something else. I can't remember even what the name of it was. And he's like, I thought it was called Saddlebacks because the seats at the bar have saddles on them. And all of us in the car, there's probably 5 of us. We were like, Frankie, come on, man, help us out here. We're new to the town. So that's just Frankie in a nutshell. I mean, you know, the bar seat saddle, so it's called Saddlebacks. I mean, why not?